Good morning. My name is Lainey Collins, and today I am going to be talking about an issue that I'm very passionate about. Should employers be responsible for providing childcare benefits to employees? Let's dig in. So let's start with, why is this issue controversial? The childcare in the US does have a complicated history. Starting with the Industrial Revolution is about the time when children started to be taken care of outside of the home by someone other than the parents. And now we're at a point where costs continue to rise and most families rely on two incomes. So parents are forced to spend exorbitant amounts of money on childcare. And right now, we are the only first world country that does not have paid parental leave. So who is responsible for the cost? Is it employers? Is it the government? Is it taxpayers? Or are families just on their own because they decided to have kids? Arguments in favor of employer-sponsored childcare largely revolve around businesses. So there was a study that was done on some companies, UPS, Etsy, Steamboat Ski Resort, and they were looking at how those companies were helping employees with childcare stipends, with on-site childcare, and there was a 425% return on investment. So some other benefits from that study were that there was a higher employee retention. There was fewer parents missing work, which was also saving businesses money. And in general, it does create a competitive labor market when some employers are offering childcare and some aren't. It makes them more attractive. So employees might be more willing to go try and work for a company that does offer employer-sponsored childcare. And when parents aren't spending money on childcare, they can put more of that money into the economy. Some arguments against employee-sponsored childcare revolve largely around, maybe this isn't exactly the right place to target this issue. Instead of businesses being responsible for paying for childcare, maybe instead it would be better to focus on working less, creating a structure where a 32-hour work week is a part of our daily lives. Maybe it's creating longer parental leave for infants. And it's also important to think about not just what's good for businesses, not just what's good for employees, but what about the kids? What kind of childcare are these children getting just because it's offered? We want to make sure that all of the educational workers are up to snuff. We want to make sure the kids are getting quality care because that's going to affect their long-term development. It's also important to consider that maybe funding shouldn't just come from businesses. Maybe it should come from the government. Maybe we should have taxes on corporations like what Mamdani is doing in NYC. Or maybe we should focus more on tax credits. Just a few examples. In the news, as you can see here, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act did just expand the child tax credit. So now families can receive up to $3,000 per child and up to $6,000 per household. Employers are also receiving an expanded tax credit, which means there's an incentive for them to help out with childcare, and the funding doesn't have to come from their business. They don't have to budget for that. States are also doing things on their own, and particularly in Colorado, through Bright Start, Boulder County is pairing with them, and they are introducing an issue on the ballot this fall. So taxpayers are going to have to decide if they think they should pay and contribute $117 per year towards expanding childcare. So my opinion revolves around the fact that I just think children are important and they should be a shared responsibility. I do think that there should be a universal childcare system, but until then, I think businesses should help out. And when we prioritize in children, we are investing in communities. And I think that it's going to take some time to come to a solution, but I think this is definitely something we should prioritize as a society. So some key takeaways are childcare affects families, businesses, the economy, and if employers are going to contribute, they do get benefits. Cost, responsibility, and childcare quality should also be considered, and hopefully more public policies get enacted that help out. So childcare affects more than those with children, and it affects the workforce, the economy, and society. Here are my references. I really appreciate you listening today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.